welcome to my homestead, Miss Kitty here. We are going to be making homemade chicken, farm raised, with the dog-eared noodles or dumplings, which my mother used to call them. They're not your normal noodle where you roll it out and everything. They're a lot simpler, but they're very good. So, and this is a very tasty meal, and it's hearty. So if you like chicken and dumplings or chicken and noodles, I'm sure you're going to like this chicken and dog-eared dumplings. So now the first thing you want to do is get yourself a large enough pan, because if you got a whole one like me, when we process them here, butcher and process, I put them in these big bags. And this is kind of a smaller one, but oh, it's pretty big. So you want a pan big enough where your chicken will submerge under the water to cook it. And to this, I'm going to be chopping up onions and carrots and celery and garlic and putting in this also. But first of all, let's just get this going. I'll put my water in the pan and get my chicken going. And this is it's a very hearty meal. I love it, especially in the fall and winter when the snow's flying or the leaves are coming down. Well, I think that's probably plenty, and then I can add more water as I go. And we're just going to remove this. And when I process my chickens, I usually wrap them in Saran wrap, and then I bag them. That way they don't freeze or burn. Okay, let me soaking. I'm going to start chopping onions. So now I'm just going to chop up 2-3 good onions, because I like a lot of onions in my chicken and noodles. Well, in this case, my mother would call them dog-eared noodles or dog-eared dumplings. All right. Let's see, put that in there. Okay. And we're just going to add this. And then you just want 2 or 3 good stalks of celery. We're going to just chop this right up, a little at a time. And celery's good for you, so I do like lots of celery, lots of carrots, onions, garlic. And these bigger pieces, I'll just cut them in 2. Onions, garlic, put this in here. Okay, get some more going. Now the carrots, and I'm just going to slice them, throw them in. You can cut these finer if you want. Bigger pieces, I'll just cut them in 2. Jeez, going everywhere here. Makes it easier cutting 2 carrots in one. Now this will flavor the broth on this chicken up. Now how many carrots you want to add to it depends. I don't want to over add. It's a little thick here. Cut that 2. There. Cut her all up. Like. And last but not least, our garlic. And I have this little gadget here that you just put your garlic right in here. And what happens, well, I'll show you, is when you squeeze it, the garlic comes out. we're just going to squeeze this garlic right in there. And let me show you how this looks. We have our celery and our carrots, our onions, our garlic and pepper, and we forgot salt, but I'll put the salt in and we'll give it a big mix and listen, and then just let it cook till that chicken is all the way cooked. You're going to want to keep a lot of liquids on this because remember you've got the dog-eared dumplings to add later. Now, the one thing I want to mention too is if you didn't want to use water in this and you wanted to put like buy chicken bone broth, which is healthy, instead of using the water, that's fine. Actually, sometimes when I have the bone broth or chicken broth or stock, I'll put that in too. And a lot of times I make my own. So if you don't have that, you can put a tablespoon or two of, oh, what's it called? Let me check. So this better than bouillon works great too, just so you have a little extra. Gives it a little more of a kick, chicken kick, and be licking chicken. This is good stuff. So I don't have a lot in here, so I think we're just going to add this to it. You don't have to do this. It depends on how flavorful you want it, which I like a lot of flavor. And so then we're just going to stir it, and we're going to, again, let this chicken cook. It's 11:30. Should be done. It depends on how high, but I'm hoping it'll be done about 1:30. Let it cook a couple hours. Turn the fire down a little. Keep water on it though. So the one thing, guys, I almost forgot seasonings. Now, your seasonings depend on your taste too, but I like to put a couple bay leaves in. If they're small, you can put 3. I'm gonna put 3. I'll put 3 bay leaves in. And I never measure, usually never. So this is thyme. I'm going to maybe a good teaspoon and a half. And some marjoram, a little marjoram, a teaspoon. And let's give this a stir. And let me find my parsley because I do use parsley. I put thyme in with my parsley, but it will not hurt it. So we're going to go ahead and put some parsley and thyme. A little extra thyme today. A little extra thyme. Okay guys, so this chicken has been gone close to a couple hours, and it's done. I'm going to take this chicken out, and I'm going to take all the meat off the bone and put it in a bowl. And I'm going to reserve that until after I've made the dog-eared noodles, dumplings, and put back in the broth, and then I'll add the chicken back in, and then I'll thicken. So now I've got 2 forks, 2 prong forks. I'm going to try to gently, it's going to fall apart on me. Oh boy. Okay, we're just going to do this really quick, hopefully. Where it won't. Yep, it's falling right apart. And we're going to put all the little vegetables that are coming out right back in too. We've got a bay leaf. You want to get all them bay leaves out. There's another bay leaf. We got them. We got 3 bay leaves out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add water back to this to fill it back up. Not all the way, but about 3/4 of what I had it. So now I've milled my wheat. I used the hard white. Looks pretty good. Maybe 5. 3, 5. So I'm going to say 5 cups of flour for my family. Now, in a small family, I think a couple cups of flour would be good, but I'm having my family over tonight, so I'm going to put, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's 1 egg to 1 cup of flour. So this is what you want to do. So first of all, I do season my flour because otherwise it's going to taste like you're eating dough. Normally what I do is I use a little Lawry's, and so I'll just sprinkle some of this in. I don't want too much, and then a little onion powder, you know, salt and pepper. I gotta get the salt bowl back out. I'll put, I use the Redmond's mineral salt and everything. I don't want to over salt these, but my salt should great. Okay, and a little bit of pepper. Give that a good stir, and we'll add eggs. This is just one of my mother's old recipes that I'm sharing today. And this is something we always liked growing up as kids. So now you get that all mixed in good, and you want to add your eggs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There. We got our 5 eggs. Let me get you over here so you can see this. And we're going to mix that in really good. Slowly, I'm going to start putting some water in until I get to the right consistency, and I will show you what that should look like. Because we're not going to roll these out. Now it is getting to where, you know, it's coming together good. I need some more water, a little. Just put a little water in at a time. You can. I've got dough or flour down on the bottom I gotta mix in. So there. And what you want is kind of a thicker dough, you know. You don't want it too loose. So now that it's all mixed in good, you want to get a plate. I think, but I have my, now you're going to want to plop that right onto your plate. I got a lot of dough here, but that's okay. Now, this next step, what you want to do is get this boiling, which I forgot to do. So you want your broth boiling. Let me add a little more water because it's, okay, let me see. And just let it boil. What you're going to want to use is like a wider knife. Use like a butter knife if you have one, not a serrated one. Just a good old, this come from my mother. So I use this. And you can use this or you can use a spoon if you want, but I just cut off these little tiny, about that size, plop them in and they'll sink. Or a little bigger. You can use a spoon if you want to just spoon them off. Anyhow, don't want them too big. And just push your dough over. You know, just give it a push. If you're finding you're going way back here to cut, just push it. Push it to the edge and it'll be all good. Like that. Okay, some of these are getting a little big, but that's okay. They'll kind of sink and then they'll raise. Ouch. And that's hot, so be careful when you do this. I put so much dough on the plate that I have to rest it on here, but normally I don't have this much where I can just stand here and cut it off. Like I said, you can use a spoon, like a small spoon if you want to cut off little spoonfuls, you know. Ooh, guys, I made a lot of noodles. Goodness, I didn't realize. But, like I said, they'll get 8. Almost. And this. Okay, that's good. So first of all, what you're going to do is bring this back to a boil. Once you get all your noodles in here, you want to boil it. And once that comes to a full boil, or you know, a good boil, boil them 3 to 5 minutes, and that's when I shut them off and I'll let them set. And then you can thicken your broth, a little cornstarch water, or if you want flour and water, you could thicken that, and then put your chicken back in, which is what we're going to do. Let's see. Now I like to shred my chicken. I don't like it cut up. I took this is pretty hot when I was doing it. So I just put it in the bowl. So now we're just going to add this back. I'm just going to, do this and tear it in chunks. Get that little thing off there. I don't like that. And that's pretty much it. And then I'm just going to thicken it up a little. And then I'll... Farm chickens, you just can't beat them. I'm going to overflow this pot. I just know. Okay. And I'll give to my dog. Ooh, she's close, isn't she? Yes. Wow. So I took a dish out of this, letting it cool. It is thick, but it's not overly thickened. So friends, I'm glad you joined me today. Again, this is my mother's. It was her recipe for the dog-eared noodles or dumplings, and they're nice and thick and so good. Gotta try this, guys. Again, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.